Today we are working on the static keyword. Already we have discussed about static variable,
Static block.
static method, and a static block. Finally,
Yes.
we have to discuss about the static class we can say. Okay. But before going for the static class, we need to understand the concept of nested classes. Nested classes. Okay, then only we can just go for the static class. So first we will see what exactly the nested class, and then we'll explain about the static class. Okay, so simply see nested classes. We can say about this is classes or class within a class. Class within a class is nothing but nested class. Class within a class is nothing but a nested class. So simply here we can see like a class, we can have an outer class. Okay, assume this is the normal class. Okay, and then we can have another one class. Okay, and I can just name it as a inner. I can just say it as a inner. So if we are writing a class within a class, then we call it as the nested classes. Nested classes. So simply see, if there are two classes, they having such a kind of relationship, where we want to access the private members of outer class. If we want to access the private members, so by using the inner class, even we can access private members of outer class we can say. So this is what the concept we call it as the nested classes. So nested classes exactly represent a particular type of relationship. Okay, it is the particular kind of a relationship. If there is, in that cases only we can go for the inner classes. So we observed about the composition, we observed about the association, we observed about the inheritance. Okay, so it is the next kind of relationship where we want to access the private members of a class. We want to access the private members of a class, then we can just go for such a kind of a relationship in a classes. So by doing this one, the code which we have written is more maintainable actually. It is more maintainable as well as readable. Okay. So by using this one, what we are trying to achieve here simply, so we are making the code, making code more readable and maintainable. We are making the code more readable and maintainable. Okay, so that is what exactly the reason we go for the nested classes. Here. Okay, so if we want to create an object, see, we can create object of outer class normally. We can create object of outer class, but by using outer class object, we cannot access the members of inner class. So for that purpose, we need to create an object of inner class. But while creating object of inner class, here see again important statement I'm saying here. While creating object of inner class, we need object of object of outer class. We need object of outer class. So compulsory, because see, actually inner class is not known to the outside world. Inner class is not known to the outside world. Okay, and hence that is the reason, actually that is the reason we should compulsory get help, or we should use outer class object while creating a inner class object. Okay, but if such a kind of relationship is there, by using the inner class object, by using inner class object, or inner class can access, inner class can use all the public as well as a private members of a public as well as a private members of a outer classes. Okay, so to understand this, I just go for the Eclipse here, and we'll try to execute this. Okay, just exactly the within here, actually in the keywords itself, we will go for the nested classes. I just right click over here, new. I will create one class, and name of that class is outer. I just create the outer class. Now in outer class, I will write simply one constructor public. Okay, we can say outer, it is the normal class only. Okay, in that one sys out, we can simply write in outer constructor, like this one. Then I will create a public void display. Okay, it is exactly what we can say. Okay, here sys out. Okay, and this is what in outer we can say display. Okay, like this one, this method I have created. Assume like I have write a private integer num1, private integer num1. Okay, and exactly same way in this one I am going to create a class as a inner Okay, so this is my inner class. In that one I have the member as an integer num2. I have integer the num2. Okay, I can make it as a private integer num2. Okay, in that one I can write one constructor public void, or public I can just write inner. Okay, it is the normal way only we can just do sys out, and here I just write in inner constructor. Okay, exactly same way I am going to write one more method public void. I can just write simply addition. Okay, and in that addition I will write integer sum. Okay, is equals to sum is equals to number1 plus number2, number1 plus number2. So here just simply performing the addition of both, and we can write sys out sum is equals to so okay, but it is in the inner, it is in inner. Okay, so both purposes I'm just doing in inner sum is equals to plus, and we can just try to write a sum over here. So this is what I have created one class. Okay, in the constructor here itself, okay, I have put it num, we can say 2 is equals to simply 20. Okay, and here actually in the outer constructor itself I am creating here num1 is equals to, here I have put it the 10. So this is what the very basic structure I have created for nested classes. So outer class and we have the inner class, outer class and the inner class like this. Okay, so whatever the private members of outer class even accessible by the inner class. Okay, and members of this one actually we can access through this. So this is what the very basic concept when we have the two classes relationship in a such a way. Okay, we don't want to disclose this inner class to the outer world than outer class. Okay, no other class than outer class can access this inner. If we want to this one, do this one, then only we can go for the nested classes. Okay, but as outer class is loaded, internally automatically class inner will be get loaded into the memory. Okay, so as many times outer class will be get loaded, that many times your inner class will be get loaded also. Okay, so I just go for the test inner outer. I just go for new class. Okay, test. Okay, I can say nested only, not static. Okay, in that one, finish. Okay, I will just do this one. And here I will create object of outer class. See, actually directly only inner class object we can't create. Only inner class object we can't create. We can't create a object of inner class directly. We can't create object of inner class directly. So to create object of inner class, compulsory we need a reference of outer class object. See, I just try to write like this one. See here, outer dot inner, assume like a inner object is there. Inner is equals to new, and here I'm writing outer dot inner. And if I do like this one, it is simply giving error. No enclosing instance of the type outer is accessible. Must qualify allocation with enclosing instance. Okay, by using this object. So object of outer class is necessary here. So directly we can't create object of inner class. No doubt, inner will be not accessible until and unless we have used outer. So we are qualifying that one, but still it is not allowing us to create object. So to create object, I have to create outer object separately. Outer, small outer, we can say is equals to new. Okay, and we can say outer class. So this is what I have created, a simple outer class. Outer is equal to new outer, and then while creating object of inner class, I will write like this one. This one here. Here inner dot new, and here I will just put my inner, because here what it is saying, inner is just go for this saved class inner. Okay, then in this outer dot inner cannot be resolved type. Outer dot inner. Okay, sorry, I have created this. Sorry, I have to put it as a outer dot new, and then inner object will be get created. So see, outer is equal to new outer dot inner like this one, and then through this I can write here inner dot I can simply say add. You can see, just I'm trying to go for the addition of this one. Okay, just trying to execute this. You can see in outer constructor, in inner constructor, and in inner sum is equals to 30. So here actually here outer is equal to new outer. So here as we create object of that, it invokes the constructor and it have been initialized the member. Here we are creating object of inner class, but for that one we are getting the help of outer class. Okay, and then we are invoking the member. We are invoking the member. If I try to like this one, see, oh, if I try to write like this one, see, inner dot display, see, inner dot display. So by using object of inner class, display is not accessible. By using object of inner class, display is not accessible, but within that class, that means that here, if we try to like this one, see, outer, okay, here display, if I try to like this one, see, display, and there is no problem here. Through this one we can access, but here as we are trying to write like display, okay, through that object, it is simply showing is the here display is undefined for the outer dot inner, so it will not access, so it will give the error over here. But through the addition we can go to the outer class method. Through the addition we can just go for the outer class. So I just put this one into the comment, okay, and you can see internally it will go to the display. Internally through the addition it will go to the display method here. So like you can see, in outer constructor, in inner constructor, in outer display, in inner sum is equals to 30, it will be go like that. Okay, now I will try to use outer object, outer dot, you can see display is available over here, so there will be no problem. Outer dot, if I try to write add, okay, outer dot add, and it is not accessible here. Even here it is not accessible. It is not accessible over. It is giving the error in this scenario. Okay, so that is what exactly the concept of inner classes. No doubt, through the object we can't access. But internally in the code of inner classes, through that one we can access public as well as a private members. Private members of that outer class. Okay, but more importantly we need to here understand that while creating object of inner class, we have to get the reference of outer class object, then only it will work. Yes, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so if this is what the actually it is the classes which are related with each other in a such a way, okay, we want to make it more maintainable as well as the readable, then in that cases we should go for these classes. Okay, now coming to the static class. Static class. So I can say about this one, normal class cannot be declared as a static. Normal class or outer class cannot be declared as a static. Only, we can say only inner classes can be declared. Only inner classes can be declared as a static class. Can be declared as a static class by using static keyword. By using a static keyword. So for example, see, if we try to like this one, static class, okay, and here class name. So, and this line itself, on this line itself, it gives the error. It gives the error. Why? Because a normal class cannot be a static. So how you can do like this one? I can create a class outer. Okay. In outer, I can write a class here, class as a inner, class as a inner, and that inner class, I can make it as a static. I can make it as a static. Okay, so only inner class can be declared as a static class. Outer class or the normal class, I can say outer class or a normal class, normal Java class cannot be declared as a static, we can say, as a static. Okay, so okay, we understood that we can declare it as a static. Then what, why it is using, or why we are using, normally we have used the inner class. Okay, but what is the advantage of the static over here? As we already know, static is used for the efficient memory management. Static keyword, static is used for efficient memory management, we can say. Memory management. That is what. So if we have the static class, so static class will be loaded in memory only once, while loading outer class first time. So when we have loaded the outer class first time, at that time only your static class will be get loaded. Okay, and if that outer class you have loaded multiple times, okay, that time this static class will be not loaded. But if it is the normal inner class, it will be get loaded multiple times, as many time outer class we have loaded. But here, if we declare it as a static, then it will be get loaded only once. So that is what only the advantage. Of a static inner class. Okay. Then very important thing we can say about a static class is that static class can access only static members of outer class. See what I'm saying? Static class can access only static members of outer class. If it is the normal inner class, if it is the nested class, then that can access static as well as non-static members of a. So I can just simply write here, whereas non-static nested class, can access static as well as non-static members. Okay, and last statement I can say about this one: while creating object of inner class, we don't need reference of outer class object. So that is what the advantage over here. We will just go to the Eclipse over here and we'll try to understand this. Okay, so here we observed outer class object is needed over here. This was our outer class which we have created. And if there is any static member here, okay, like a public or even private static, I can say company, private static company, private static string, I can say string company is equals to, I just say here icons technology, okay, like this one. So this is what I created, the static member of this one. And if I want to access it here in the display here, I can just write say sysout, and here I want to just display the company. I want to display the company. Okay, COMPNY. Okay, like this one, company. And you can see there is no problem. This is the static member. This is the static member, and still we can access it. Still we can access it. There is no problem. There is no problem over here. Okay. Okay. So now I will go for the static class. So see here, if I try to like here directly putting this one class as a static, okay, outer class as a static, it is simply giving the error. Illegal modifier for the class outer. Only public, abstract and final are permitted. Only public, abstract and final are permitted over here. You can't make it as a static. You can't make it as a static. So normal outer class or the normal class cannot be declared as a static. But here, this is the inner class. We can make it as a static. We can make it as a static. So I did here as a static. But as soon as you guys have written here the static inner class, you can see here it is showing the error. Here it is showing the error. Why it is showing the error over here? Why it is showing the error over here? Because it is the non-static member. It is the non-static. It is the non-static, and non-static cannot be accessible. Non-static cannot be accessible. Even a number is a here we can say number is a non-static, and hence it is not allowed over here. It is not allowed over here. So that is what the problem over here. So that is what the problems. I just make here it as a show because we can't go for the addition of that. Okay, system.out.println and company. Okay, int sum. Okay, num even cannot be get accessible. Here it is showing the error for this. Okay, showing error to num1 as num1 as it's non-static. Okay, now here you can see here. Now you can see here in inner I can just write show. Okay, and now my company is a static and it can be get accessible over here. Okay, now I will go for creating object. Now I will go for creating object. Simply here new or new class test static inner class. Okay, like that. Public static void main. Okay, I'm going to put here. Now you can observe here. While creating the object of inner class, I can just write outer dot inner. Okay, here I can simply write inner is equals to new, and I can write outer dot inner, and you can see it is not showing any error over here. So to create object of a static inner class, to create a object of static inner class, we don't need reference of outer class object. That is what the little difference between a normal inner class and the static inner class is. Now I can just write a inner dot. I can just write inner dot, and we have written method as a show. So inner dot show, you can see, and it will show the, it can simply show the company. Okay, why nested? Okay, in class inner constructor icons technology in inner show, like this one. So in this way, we can use your static inner class. Hope it is clear.